Hello, this is Scott Conway, PhD, JD with mothersraisingsons.com. I hope you're one of our members. If not, I hope you'll join us soon. What we're talking about in this series is connecting with your kids. How do you find common ground enough to connect with like your teenage kids? I have a niece who has a baby, and right now she's really enjoying the time when the baby needs her, and she can hold the baby and rock her to sleep. And essentially, at that age, the baby can't do anything without you. Don's oldest son has a baby, and of course, he and the mom and dad are also enjoying this particular phase of the child's life. But you know what? These kids are going to grow up. From the time they're like really young to about late elementary school age, they're what's called a parent reference, that they kind of imprint things for the first 7 years or so, kind of establishing a lot of their baselines. For about the next 6 or 7 years, they refer to their parents, and they look to mom and dad and whoever is raising them. Could be foster parents, could be step parents, could be grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever is responsible for raising these children. They look to that person, sort of the authority, to help them filter life. But then something else happens. They become teenagers. Somewhere between 10 and 12, sometimes as late as 13 or 14, they start to become what's called peer referenced. And a lot of times at that point, they're pulling away from their parents unless there's some kind of connection, some kind of common ground that you can keep referring to, so you're not just this authority figure, but you can connect. Sometimes there's this temptation to just kind of be their friend, to be their buddy, to be their pal. But you're still the parent. You still have to parent them. You still have to guide them. You are still an authority figure. And so having the connection, kind of building up the relational points, what we call the Phileo bank account. This isn't a lesson on the Phileo bank account. That's in the downloads if you're getting those. It's in the books if you're getting those. So if you're a member, you probably understand this kind of relational bank account. And you need to build that up so you have the points to spend when you need to spend them. That you build up the connection, you build up the relationship, so when you need to do something that's going to be hard, you have the relational capital to spend on the issues. And you want to have a good relationship with your kids anyway. I mean, they're your children. You love them. And so if you're a mother raising a son, what you may find is sometimes sons like different things than moms like. Sometimes boys like different things than girls like. Just like, of course, sometimes moms and girls and stuff like different stuff than the kids like. It's just part of being different. Some of it's generational, some of it's gender, whatever it is, individual to individual. Sometimes you'll just like different stuff. So how do you connect? How do you find that common ground? Well, right behind me, you may be wondering what these boxes are behind me. They're comic books. I've got like 40 or 50 long boxes of comic books here. Here in San Diego, California, we just recently had the San Diego Comic Convention. This is a huge and massive event. I was kind of thinking of seeing if I could find someplace down in that area I could go to record some of these videos, but finding someplace quiet enough to record it might be a challenge. Parking anywhere near that event is a huge challenge, so I decided not to do that. So instead, my props are the comic book boxes behind me. The San Diego Comic Convention, 130,000 attendees. It is the single biggest pop culture event in the country, possibly in the world right now. The San Diego Comic Convention, it's the only convention that kind of pushes the boundaries of what our San Diego Convention Center can withstand. It is the only convention we have that really kind of needs our convention center to expand. It spills out into the conference rooms of nearby hotels and nearby resorts. If you're going to some of the events, even when I took the boys there 4 or 5 or 6 years ago, some of the events, some of the panels we went to, we had to go across to the Hilton, across to the Hyatt, that they weren't all in the convention center. That's how huge this thing is. It is a massive pop culture event. It is crowded. It is overwhelming. And my wife, Dawn, hates these kind of things. She doesn't like these kind of events. So how do you connect when your kids thoroughly enjoy something that really doesn't make any sense to you? And we're going to use the San Diego Comic Convention as kind of an anchor point to sort of talk about this, because this is such an alien thing to what the mom, in this case, Dawn, is accustomed to, but it's something that the kids just love and that they're excited about. And then how can you use this? Now, I'll tell you, part of the beauty of it is it doesn't require a multi-year commitment. Like if your kids had a particular television series that they liked and you really find it distasteful. You don't like it. Like, for instance, well, Walking Dead has been popular for a while. And if kind of the idea of watching a zombie show kind of EBGBs you a little bit, gives you nightmares a bit, but you've got kids that love this stuff, you may have a problem sitting down and watching zombies week after week for year after year because it could give you nightmares. On the other hand, maybe you do get used to it. But something like the San Diego Comic Convention, it's an event, and being able to use events to connect with your kids, to build common ground with your kids, is enormously powerful because events are more memorable than any given episode of something ongoing. And events are easier to do because you just have a limited window of time where you're really connecting on something that might not be something you enjoy. And you can kind of build this high point. So that's what we'll be talking about in this series, is connecting with your kids, finding the common ground, being able to build this relationship. And you already know, you want to have the relationship capital. You already know you want to connect with your kids. And in this set, we're going to talk about exactly how you do that using the San Diego Comicon as kind of our starting template.